which bolt action rifle to choose. We're starting out with the SV98. The SV98 is the first bolt action rifle you unlock in Battlefield 3. So because it is the first bolt action rifle you unlock, you play a bit of RECON, you have the most attachments probably for it, or you're most likely going to have the most attachments for it. And for aggressive RECON you need those attachments much more than for long range sniping, where you only need your big scope that the gun comes with and your bipod. But for aggressive RECON I love to run the hollow sight, the straight pull bolt, which is the absolute must, straight pull bolt, and I like the laser sight on the SV98. Why do I like the laser sight that much in the SV98? The SV98 has the tightest hip fire spread of all the bolt action rifles. Now I got it. Sorry guys. And so because it has the tightest hip fire spread and you're on the laser sight, it gets monster in hip firing, I think, as you can see in this clip here. So now we're coming to the stats for the SV98, and as you can see here, the drop-off start is at 20 meters, which is 5 meters more than on the rest of the rifles, which is a good thing. But for long-range sniping I wouldn't recommend this rifle because the drop-off stop is at 50 meters. That means that the drop-off is really rapid and much more than on the other bolt-action rifles. It has 48 RPM, which is the second fastest shooting bolt-action rifle, 520 meters per second bullet velocity, which is also pretty good, and a range of 2,600 meters, as well as 11 shots, as most of the bolt action rifles have, and pretty much the same stats as the other ones. Just the hip fire spread is different. So also it uses the same caliber, or pretty much the same caliber, and does the exact same damage on all of the things than the other rifles. Now we come to the M40A5, and it has the fastest shooting bolt action rifle, which is a good thing, and it's really noticeable. And I think it gets a bit faster, or just in my thinking, when you use the straight pull bolt, which I haven't had unlocked in this clip. I unlock it here. Those are pretty old clips, so now I ran it with the laser sight, and not only I recommend the laser sight, also Assault told me that he likes this weapon the most for hip firing with the laser sight. So I haven't played too much with this weapon, and because I haven't had the best results, but I had pretty good results, and if I would play more with this weapon I think it could become one of my favorites, just because it shoots so fast. And fast shooting rifles are really important, because if you don't hit your first shot, you're pretty much fucked in all the other with all the other rifles. But with this, you could probably get a second shot off. And it's not just now. We're watching some gameplay, and then we're coming to the stats for the M40A5. As you see me knifing this guy, this is really important and a good trick. So M40 is better on range than the SV98, but the hipfire isn't that good. This weapon has just a normal hipfire as all the other ones. So it has 54.5 rounds per minute, which is the fastest. It is I think 6.5 rounds faster than the SV98, which doesn't sound much, but it actually means a lot. It has 490 meters per second bullet velocity, which is the slowest bullet in the sniper class, or in the bolt action sniper class. And that it isn't good for long range sniping, because your bullet drop off is really big on this weapon. And you can even experience it when you are close range sniping on, let's say, Cog Island TDM, or on rush maps when you're playing rush with the aggressive RECON. It also has the 11 shots as the other weapons, and it has the normal hip fire, as I said. Now to the M98B. The M98B is the last weapon to unlock without a DLC, and it has the least drop-off, the most damage, and the farthest one-shot kill radius. Just because it has another round, it uses a bigger round than the other weapons. It's the biggest and longest weapon, which you can experience in Battlefield 3, because your mobility is not that great as it is with the other weapons. And I wouldn't recommend this weapon in hardcore mode because you don't need it in hardcore mode, and for normal mode I also wouldn't recommend it too much. I use it because I can't get those headshots all the time, but the difference is not that big in terms of damage that it would make a big difference. And the worst part about it is that it only has 6 shots, which is really hard. Because you have to reload all the time, and you can't rely on this weapon that much. But it's best for long range sniping. And now to the stats that you can see here, it is the fastest. The bullet velocity is the fastest of all the rifles, and it has the most range of all of the rifles. And recoil and the other values are the same, but the bullet drop off is also the least. And it starts at 15 meters as all the others, besides the SV98. But it stops at 150 meters. That means that it does more damage than the other ones at 100 meters and further. And so, as we come to the, I hope so, yeah, as we come to the L96, which is the next weapon, and the first and the only recon weapon, besides the QBU, beyond the bolt action rifle, you unlock in the Back to Karkand expansion. Here it is. I love the L96. The L96 is the slowest shooting and bolt action rifle with only 43.5 rounds per minute, but I get good results with it. And it's also right in the middle with bullet velocity, which we come to later in the stats part. And I don't know what it is about this weapon, but as you can see here in this clip, you have problems with the damage. So if I would have had the M98B, this would be a kill, but now I only have done 95 damage. So I don't know why I would recommend this weapon, but you have to try it out, because when I use it, I get great results, even though the stats tell me that it's not the best weapon of all to choose from. So I don't know. Now to the stats. As I said, it's the slowest shooting weapon with only 43.5 rounds per minute. The bullet velocity is just in the middle. It's over the SV98 and the M40A5. So it's just in the middle of the 5 weapons we have to choose from. And it's on 540 meters per second. So let's get further. And the next thing I want to talk about is that the bullet drop-off on this weapon, the M40 and the G&G, is the same. Pretty much all the bolt action rifles are pretty much the same. It also has the 11 shots, and it has the same hipfire accuracy as the other rifles beside the SV98. So now we're coming to the G&G 90. I hope so. Come on, G&G. Here you go. The G&G is the new close quarters bolt action rifle, and I had a really hard time getting my clips for this. I played around 6 rounds, and as you can see, I played normal mode because I thought I have to play normal mode sometime, not only bolt action only. And I had a really hard time with this weapon. I don't know what it is about it, but I just don't like it very much. It also has more recoil than the others. It has 1.5 multiplier for the first shot, and this is pretty bad, I have to say, because even though it gets down fast in the same time, it just irritates me a bit. This could be the problem. So it also has the 11 shots, but it has a faster bullet velocity, which makes it for me the perfect gap. It fills the gap between the normal rifles and the M98B, which you could see here. The bullet drop off is really not that big, and I think it's the best long range sniping rifle. And it's a good rifle, but I don't like it. And here to the stats. It has 46.15 RPM, which is the second slowest shooting rifle. It's a bit slower than the M98B at 0.5 seconds. Shut up, phone, as Pone would say. And so it has a big range. Has the second biggest range, and it shoots the same caliber as pretty much all the other rifles. 11 shots, but 1.5 multiplier for the first shot. Yeah, so I would say this is the G&G 90. And now to short conclusion to my video. I think that I think the best weapon is the weapon you like the most. The weapon you have the best results. All of those bolt action rifles are really similar, but stats wise, the M40 would be the best close range weapon of all of them, just because it is really the fastest shooting weapon. But it's really hard because you have to lead the shots, and the people aren't that predictable that you can lead the shots very well in Battlefield 3. I hope you enjoy. If you have any questions, write in the comments or write me a private message. And please click the please click the rating button and subscribe for more videos to come. Next video will be about which sidearm I would recommend for aggressive recon.